it's a 1 in a million to run into Oprah and become a national star. So you tell us a little bit more about how you actually did it. I know you spoke about it earlier, but how were you able to kind of get in her orbit to be able to work with her?
So Gayle King, rather, and Gayle, you know, is on the CBS Morning News, is a wonderful human being. And so I had gotten to know her a little bit just in New York. And I asked her about this idea my wife, who was a producer, had about making a television show where we would give people the idea of how their bodies worked, demystify their bodies. And so Gayle helped me get Oprah to come on board. We still laugh about it because I was a nobody. She should never have agreed, but she did. And we had a blast. We talked about everything from her weight to her blood pressure to everything she, all the things she wanted to talk about. So the show aired and her team saw it in Chicago and they said, we think we could actually just do this on our show. So, I had made this series of documentaries for Discovery Channel, but I ended up remaking them for the Oprah show. And then we became close friends. I did her show 60, 70 times at least. And more importantly, I got a better idea of what it takes to talk to people. Because, when you're on television, people are looking at you every single day. They know everything about what you are trying to say. They understand your emotions and they trust you because they're inviting you into their house. So Oprah was laser focused on the audience. And she said, as long as I was doing the same, and as a doctor, you're taught to take care of your patient. In the case of a talk show, you're taking care of your audience, laser focused on them. We got along. And she also taught me, give people the news they can use. Don't waste their time with stuff that's just extraneous. Like in COVID-19, what are the things you have to know? What are the things that are sort of nice to know but not critical? And finally, this is the most important message. You ready for this? This is critical. Most important message Oprah ever taught me was people do not change based on what they know. People change based on how they feel. If you get people to feel differently about a problem, they'll act. If you just tell them the facts, they'll know it, but they won't act on it.
Okay, that's actually really, really poignant. You get them to feel something. You get them to feel something. That's an emotion, and people move off of emotions. All right. So the coronavirus. I happened to be in the UK when the coronavirus hit. The one person who calmed me down from all the hysteria and made me and put me on an even level was you. You weren't fear-mongering. You were straight to the point. You were sensible. I was watching it on Fox News, and at the time, it was so much fear-mongering, and it was just so much chaos. And your message really cut through like a knife because it was sensible, it was realistic, and it was given with a sense of calm. As of today, how much have you studied up on this? And number one, are you on the front lines of the fight against coronavirus?
I am on the front lines. I get up every morning. As you know, I talk on television about it. But more importantly, before the TV starts, I'm working my ass off trying to figure out what's the new paper saying, interviewing people, calling up researchers. I spoke to France over the weekend because they've got a new study that just came out that's pretty exciting. My show is in 100 countries. So I actually have leads in a lot of places. And so I reach out to China, for example. What's the newest there? And I just try to get all that information and bring it back. I also think you're right. It's not about being afraid. Or panicked. It's about being aware of what the real issues are. Of course, COVID-19 is a problem. That's not the question. The issue is, what are you going to do about it? And so I spent a lot of my time just trying to parse through the hype about what the new numbers look like or what this new solution is and what could actually work. And I'll give you an example. There's a lot of talk now about, masks and distancing, and you can't get away from it, or you can always get away from it. The rule to remember for everybody is 6:15. Think about 6:15 in the morning when you get up, but that's not why I'm giving you the numbers. The 6 is 6 feet. That's how many feet you got to stay away from people. And 15 minutes is the most amount of time you can stay within that 6 feet circle. Otherwise, you got to wear a mask. That's the rule. So if you go to a beach, you should be okay because you should be able to stay away from people, at least 6 feet away from them. Or if you're within 6 feet, if you run by them on the beach, don't spend 15 minutes next to them. So when people hear that, they begin to understand the role of the mask because the mask is about kindness. The mask is not about east, west, left, right, conservative, Democrat, Republican. It's not about that. It's simply about kindness because I'm protecting you by wearing a mask. And so if I can stay 6 feet away, that's the best. If not, put a mask on. And those rules, everyone can get that. Then you don't have to make a rocket science. If you go swimming in the pool, take your mask off. You'll drown. But when you go to the bathroom, after you get out of the pool, you got to put a mask on because you don't know who's going to be within 6 feet of you. Right.
So 6 feet away in 15 minutes. How much how much do you have to inhale to get the virus? And first of all, is it really a virus or is it really a bacteria? Which one is it?
No, it's a virus, and it's a virus that probably came from bats. But it doesn't get into you just as a virus. It comes to you with a little bit of water around it. The virus likes to be surrounded by something because it can't live by itself. So it's got a little sputum, little of your saliva in it. So when you speak or yell or sing or chant, a little bit of saliva goes into the air. And that's why people who cough and sneeze are much more dangerous. And these folks will spread lots of air into the bathroom or closed environment that you're in with saliva particles in them, and they get into your body. And you don't have to breathe too much because it gets into your nose. But if you wear a mask and you're sick, then all that saliva stays in the mask. It can't get to the people around you, which is why they won't be able to get infected, which is why you're helping people because that's who you hang with usually.
Right. Now, if let's say, for example, somebody spits in their saliva and it goes in my nose, does that mean I automatically have it, or does it have to be a certain amount? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's a great question. So the more the virus that gets into your nose, the worse it is for you. That's why doctors and nurses got hurt so bad, because we've been putting breathing tubes in people and they cough in our face, and then we get a lot of virus right in our nose. However, young people don't have many receptors. They don't have many places the virus can get into their nose. They just don't, because they're still young. So that's why kids generally are spared. Under the age of 25, you don't have a big risk of getting infected, having symptoms, or being contagious for that reason. However, over that age, slowly you have more of those receptors in your nose. Think of receptors like doors. The virus is a key. It opens up the doors and walks in. The older you are, the more those doors there are, the easier it is for virus. So even a little bit of virus can get in there. If you're diabetic or you're hypertensive or you're overweight, you have a lot of doors in your nose, which is why even a tiny little bit of virus material can get into your body. And then once it's there, it sets up shop.
Right. Now, I'm going to go back to the mask real quick. Are we making ourselves sick when we wear that mask? Are we making ourselves sick? Because people always say, oh, you're breathing in your own CO2. You're breathing in your own toxins. What is the truth to that?
No, you don't make yourself sick. Listen, I wear a mask every day in the operating room, right? I don't get sick from that. None of us do. It's irritating. I get it. I don't like to wear a mask outside when it's hot. I wouldn't exercise with a mask on. I exercise outdoors nowadays, so that way you wouldn't have to worry about it. But masks will not make you sick. You're not going to catch more virus if it's coming out of your nose. And you can exhale plenty of carbon dioxide, CO2, and there's plenty of oxygen that gets through the mask. You know, the mask is effective because there are these little particles on it that attract the virus with the saliva to them. So they actually have little holes there, so the air can get through, but the virus particles can't.
Okay. So there's a lot of things that we hear, and I want to separate the rumors from the truth. Because so many people are becoming scared because of this information. They're saying you can get it from opening mail. Is that true?
I mean, very, very rare. I don't worry about it, but possible. Here's what I do with mail. The virus dies within about 12 hours on paper. Just leave the mail for a couple hours. The virus will be dead by the time you touch it.
Okay. Face masks and face shields. Should we be wearing face shields or no?
If you don't like the masks, wear the face shields because that protects your eyes as well.
Okay, so that's good. Stainless steel surfaces. They were telling me, oh, you got to wash them every 3 hours. It goes on the stainless steel. True or not true?
Stainless steel, unfortunately, the virus loves because it's not absorbent. So the virus with the little saliva stays there. So if you're in a place where people could be coughing, you're going to have to clean it pretty frequently. But it's your own home. Don't worry about it because you're the only one there.
Okay. Food.
Food's not a problem. You cannot catch the virus by eating food. The container you got to be careful about, but not the food.
Money. Transmitting, holding paper money and giving money around and doing stuff like that. Is that something to worry about?
Money. Go cashless. Use a credit card because money absolutely can have virus on it, and people hold their money tightly, which means if they got body, it'll get on that money. And paper. Cloth money. It's not paper, it's cloth, so it absorbs the virus.
So you feel like, because I feel like this, you're never going to stop money from going. I think that there's always going to be cash in a society. And I felt like, wouldn't it be, because I was talking to somebody about this. All right, paper, yes, you know, you're going to move that around. But the same way you have a piece of plastic, it could be on plastic. So does it make sense to worry about money? It's six in one hand and half a dozen in the other, right?
No, because I don't let you touch my credit card. I put the credit card into the reader by myself. Most shops do this now. So I run the credit card myself. No one touches it but me.
Okay, so that makes sense. Does alcohol or bleach kill it?
70% alcohol, actually even 60% alcohol will kill the virus. Bleach will also kill it. You just have to dilute it out. And I've got the instructions on droz.com on how to do it.
Okay, and people, if you haven't gone to his Instagram or his website, this is an amazing resource. Like during the first month or two of the coronavirus, that's all I used to watch because it's sensible, real information. What should people do to lower their chances of contracting this? What are the 3 things that you look at and say, if you do these 3 things, you'll give yourself a better chance to not even come in contact with it? Fatman Scoop.